are the Greenbounds, and we have American dream. I find good job in Pickle factory. Sarah, I make this vow. 100 years, our family will prosper.
Hello. My name is Steven, and with me this week on the Movie Club podcast is Trae.
Trae Price name is the name so nice. God, can we cut? Take? can we take two?
Just keep this in.
But no, what's up, good people? What's up? You know who it is.
And today we're going to discuss Brandon Trout's first film that he's directed, 2020 HBO Max exclusive film, An American Pickle. It's a dramedy. There's comedy. There's dramedy. The story is about an American immigrant at a pickle factory who is accidentally preserved. He's accidentally brimed like a pickle for 100 years, and then he wakes up in modern day Brooklyn and meets his great grandson. The premise makes it sound more dramatic and like feel good than I feel like it actually is, but that's just my personal opinion. And we've already started getting into the podcast already. The no intro part's over. And I've already started giving my thoughts. Trae, I'm gonna hand it over to you for a second.
This movie, I didn't know that this was like his directorial debut, Mr. Trout's directorial debut, which honestly changes my opinion on a lot of stuff, because I think depending on what his other stuff is, like maybe some shorts or whatever like that, this is really good for a first time outing. You know, it's actually a pretty solid movie in my opinion. I think I'm kind of cooled on it from when we first saw the trailer, and I was like, oh man, this is a nice little feel. The way they're doing it is all different and stuff. Now I'm just kind of like, it's cool. A lot of what Seth Rogen is doing here with his character is cool, but there are a lot of contrivances and things that I'll probably get into later that, like, watching the movie, if you're just watching it straight for entertainment value, it's like you can kind of gloss over. But if this isn't one that I probably go on like repeat viewings of, mostly because at parts it's kind of dumb. Like, it's kind of really dumb. But in other parts it makes up for it, and like it does have a lot of heart. This movie, I will say, does have a lot of heart. But I don't know how well it's going to be received by other people. Like, if other people came up to me and was like, man, this movie is trash, I'd be like, I can't really argue with you on that.
Right, yeah. This is Brandon Trout's, it's his first movie that he's directed by himself. He has co-directed a movie with his brother.
Oh, okay.
Back in like 2011. Then he directed an episode of Future Man, which is a Seth Rogen produced show on Hulu.
Okay.
But he has been strictly a cinematographer for years. He has been a cinematographer on The Disaster Artist, the Seth Rogen movie, Pop Star Never Stopping, Neighbors 2, The Night Before, The Interview, Neighbors, This Is the End, The Lords of Salem, the Rob Zombie movie. That's different. So things like that.
I want to say this. I think even before, like, and I hope this doesn't get like into much like spoiler territory for the spoiler section, but I think that shows in like the opening of this movie. I think the opening is pretty cinematographic. I'm gonna say that's a word, but yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, I think it shows how much his skill, and a few scenes later are really well put scenes. Like, if they were in a better movie, I think they would stand out a lot more probably.
I think that the opening of this movie is shot really well. And I think the opening of the movie, not just like the 4:3 aspect ratio part of like the past 100 years ago, not just that, but I think everything leading up to like Ben and Herschel, both of the Seth Rogen's characters meeting, I think that all of that is done really well. For me, the movie kind of falls apart in the kind of like right after that. Maybe like 10 minutes after they meet, it falls apart for me after that. And I mean, I'll get into this in spoiler section. Yeah, I'll just get into that in spoiler section. But for me, I mean, I liked the premise of this movie. I think that it's really cool, funny premise, you know. And Seth Rogen does a great job
Yeah.
portraying both characters. He really makes it feel like he is playing two separate characters, like they are two separate characters. It's like you can look at them. Obviously, it's played by the same person, but it feels like they are different characters. They're not like, you know, very similar or whatever.
I mean, he's not like Tatiana Maslany or whatever, the chick from Black Orphan, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Orphan Black. He ain't her, but like on that level, he does do enough to separate Herschel and what's his name, Ben. Yeah, I think he does enough to separate the two of them.
Yeah. I think one of my problems with this movie is it feels like it's supposed to be about like family, like maybe a little bit of society, but then in the end they add like a splash of capitalism, like a little pinch of politics.
Right.
And I'm just like, you're veering off the course a little bit. I still see the main message underneath there about family, but I don't know. It kind of like the society and capitalism and politics and stuff. It kind of just like, it seems like the movie pauses.
Right.
It's like about family, and then it's like pauses, and then it's like, oh, we got to mention this other stuff for some reason because we want to.
Right.
And then they just continue on. And I get it. I mean, that's, you know, it's important. If you have something to say, you want to say it, but it's like at the movie's expense. Okay. Do you have anything else to say before we get into spoilers?
I think anything else that I would say will probably hit around some spoiler territory, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold back.
All right. Let's get into spoilers then. Screw it.
All right. Look,
go ahead.
I'm gonna say it. I dug the fact that that Ben kind of turned out to be sort of an antagonist. When all said and done, like that came out of left field for me. I expected him to be like, I expected somebody else to go like, oh, I'm gonna get this Pickle Baron, you know, like somebody else. But I do like that touch. I think it falls apart after like the third time Ben tries to sabotage Herschel. I think it goes just a little bit too far because, like you said, at the end, it wraps up into like this capitalistic happy ending. Yeah. But I feel like if you just for the sake of plot, that happens because that would have happened way earlier. Like at no point at the time when we've had so many famous people talk about how like when you get famous, people who you ain't even know who ain't really your family come out of nowhere. Yo, cuz, what's up? Can I look? Just let me hold $50. Ain't no way when a time traveling pretty much relative of yours comes in and makes it big that you can be like, hey, let's get on this together. You're not going to do that sooner than the last third of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, what even?
He like tries this. I don't see, and I didn't like that aspect. I didn't like the whole beginning part. Like I said, I would have, if they would have taken that element out, I think that and then I don't know, if the movie would have been about them having a business together from the beginning without them doing the Ben versus Herschel shit. I think that I probably would have enjoyed that more. It may not have been a more interesting movie for some people, and I see that I don't know, some kind of like these big events need to happen, right? Of Ben sabotaging, but like 3 times, all purposely.
That's
and
what
then
I'm
he's
saying.
like, oh damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm like. You probably shouldn't have.
But it is such a contrived way that they like. It's such a not even contrived, but it's like so ham-fisted a way in how little there was for a transition to that. It's when he's about to get deported and they're walking miles in the snow that Ben is suddenly like, maybe Herschel's not such a bad. Maybe he's not a dick. Like, no shit. All it took was him wrapping a thing around your hand and you sitting out in the snow and him hugging you a bit for you to go. Like. really?
Yeah,
All of this
and it's
bullshit you did. I'm so
and it's like the whole movie is about family, and it's like, oh, Ben doesn't. He's like his mom and his dad died, and it's like he has never really coped with that. But like at the beginning, Herschel never really. I mean, Herschel woke up and like was grieving a little bit about Sarah dying, but with scientists, were like fighting him and stuff. But then like when he goes to their grave, he's grieving more. And then I get why Ben is not like automatically like, okay, maybe I should grieve too, because he's has been doing it for so long. But like, I don't know, family was always important to him. So underneath the surface, with that, like with the reveal that Boop Bop was has something to do with the parents. Like it's always been there, but then like for that to reveal, and then like it's like the movie added the reveal and then the Herschel stuff at the end,
right,
to connect them. And I feel like, I don't know, it was like for the audience. It's like in It. It's like what I don't like about It, the remake, or the Andy Muschietti 2017 movie, is it's like all the stuff isn't really happening to the characters. It's like just to scare the audience. It's just like it's like Pennywise turns around and like into the camera, he turns around and he like, I don't know, it's like a jump scare for the camera, and it's like doing it to the camera, and it's not really we don't see the characters' reactions or anything like that. It makes it like silly. It feels like they hid this purposely, the Boop Bop meaning, just purposely, so they can have some more like emotional weight. And for me, just because of that, I'm just like, the movie tried to trick me, but it just doesn't work.
Like I don't like being flim-flam by the snake oil salesman. Give me the right stuff. And I think you're right about that, because I think a lot of this is padded out by a lot of the stuff that happens in the film. They want to, like you said, they want to make their political jokes, or the fact, or the very premise of him like coming back from the past and selling these pickles, and it's like, oh, hipsters love this pickles. Oh, that's why he's going to be fan. Like they want to make those relevant jokes instead, and that's why we get all these like you said, the big moments in the film. I do like the premise, and I really do like the premise. I like that whole opening of the movie. Like I really would watch a movie of just that, and then the caustics came and then burned down everything. It sucked. And like him, I think one of the most, I think my favorite moments was when he comes back and he's narrating, and he's like the scientists, they asked, how did this happen? Like how did I get preserved in these pickles? How was this able to have this defy science? And then the scientists gave a really good explanation, and the people liked it. They cut back to me. Like,
I wrote that.
We like that. That was.
I wrote that too. I wrote that down too, because he was like, the scientist explains. It satisfies everyone, and they're like, wow, interesting. That's totally believable. Oh my god!
I actually did laugh at that.
Yeah, no, that was a really good joke. There's that, and then there's like the 25 socks. He's like, how many socks do you wear? And he's like 25 pairs. He's like, 25 pairs. He was like, but you only have 2 feet. He was like, yep, I only have 2 feet.
No, I also like see there are really good moments in this. Like I like the like his whole like like I like Herschel's kind of emotional reasoning for doing this and trying to fight back. Is all because he saw a billboard with vodka, like selling this vanilla vodka, and he's just like, the Cossacks.
Yeah.
And he just, because it's all over like this, like putting industrial sludge on the graveside on their family plot or whatever, and he's just like, I will clean this, I will get this cleaned up. And he's just, it's really all. There's another part where it's like during the second time when he's finally getting everything like together with the business or whatever, and he gets the interns who are pretty much like slaves, and he's about to get, there's the protesters coming out, and like the head chick that he has, like his right hand man pretty much, is like, Oh yeah, no, they're I can't be involved in this business. I have to quit, and then immediately goes over to the protesters and is like starts
Like
protesting, but mouths, "I'm
yeah.
sorry."
Yeah, in the same shot too. It's like over the shoulder shot of Herschel and her, and then she like goes down and joins it, and
Mm-hmm.
then picks up a picket sign. Yeah, that was great.
That was great. Like, see, there's those good moments, and it, like the stuff like that is how I believe like that. Like when you tell me that he's a like primarily a cinematographer, it fits. Like this
Right.
stuff fits. Those shots that I'm talking about are just like really cool shots, and as well as really funny shots. But as a whole, like if this was kind of like a short, I think this would be amazing.
Oh,
But as a
yeah,
movie
yeah.
as a whole, lackluster. Like it's
Yeah.
I don't want to jump the gun and give my final thoughts. But if I had to give this movie a grade, that's a C. I'm gonna give that big old C.
See,
That's a C.
Okay.
I'm a fair teacher's assistant. I've been demoted. I ain't a professor no more. I'm a TA. But I'm fair.
I would say, I mean, since you already gave your rating, I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating. Hold on. Before I do that, I also thought it was very funny when he was like, "Oh yeah, Ben was like, my parents died," and then Herschel was like, "Murdered or regular?" That was great. That was great. See, there's jokes like that, just like put in there, and those are like those are good moments, and they're funny jokes. But then, like everything else, like the drama, the emotional bits, just didn't really resonate for me.
Right.
Also, I have to say that.
But no, like there's that one scene where he's like the movie gets weirdly cartoonish too. With like the music and the scene, like the scene where Ben is like, "I'm gonna put this motherfucker on Twitter," and it's just like it turns dark and lightning comes out of nowhere and the music. That was really cool too. I had to put that out there.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I really like the music too. I think it's done by Michael Giacchino, who he did The Incredibles score. He did War for the Planet of the Apes recently, which I really enjoyed that. Oh my god, I've been listening to that.
Was that the last one in the trilogy?
Yeah.
Still ain't
and then he
seen
did
that
Spider-Man: Homecoming music too.
Nice.
Which they came out in the same summer, and I was like, I watched War for the Planet of the Apes. I was like, oh my god, this score is incredible. And I watched Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I was like, this score is so lackluster and not memorable.
The score.
Yeah.
It's like outside. Go ahead.
We'll listen to we'll do a separate podcast
Scorecast
talking about Michael Giacchino's scores and music, just reviewing them. I was also going to say that the split screen in this was like pretty seamless.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't for the most part you could really tell.
Mm-hmm.
There was at the very beginning when the two are in the kitchen. It's not the seltzer water part. A little bit after that, it's like the background looks kind of odd. But anyway, I mean, I'm not gonna be fucking nitpicky because these filmmakers they did their shit. Like it looks great. I saw a featurette which we should put in the description and I'll send to you. It was about like how they filmed the whole thing with Seth with a beard, and then they like every single part of the movie with Seth with a beard, as Herschel, and then they went back and then they shaved him, and then they went back and did everything all over again.
So they wait for this motherfucker to grow a beard so they can shoot all these shots and then go back and shave them and go. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know
that's crazy this way.
I know, but because in the featurette, Seth Rogen's like, fake beards are usually generally shitty, so we didn't want to do that. And I was like, fair, but also
should have just CG'd the beard on his face. See, Seth, you messed up. Just put some crosses on your face, put them tracking markers.
In the featurette, they have they have Seth Rogen's double in there, and he has like all the dots over his face. So when he is playing so Sensei shot Herschel's part first, and
Mm-hmm.
then when he's back and playing Ben, the other guy plays Herschel, and he's just like basically like standing or sitting in his spot, so he has someone to play off of.
Right.
And then in the featurette they show like they already had the take that they wanted chosen,
Mm-hmm.
so like the double's not even saying anything, but the take is playing like in their ears or like over a speaker, which is,
Oh.
it's very interesting.
Nice.
It's like a 2-minute featurette. Yeah, I would recommend checking it out. Damn, I feel like I just hyped up the movie and I was like, oh my gosh, it was like it was really well done, and it was like the featurette. But then I really like the score. It's like a 5 out of 10.
Mm.
I'd recommend if people. I say this like every podcast. If you're interested in it and the premise, actors, if that draws you to it and that interests you, then yeah, I would go ahead and watch it. But I don't know, it just didn't. And it wasn't like Seth Rogen's other movies that he's done were like 50-50. More of his dramatic stuff that's like has some comedy in it. I think maybe I think Jonathan Levine is the one that directed that movie. I think if he had done this movie, maybe the emotional bits would have hit more for me.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's I mean, I think maybe that has something to do with the director. Maybe it has to do with the script. I think it's probably both.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested in seeing what the director does next. Because I think he'll definitely learn, and I don't think that he will do the split screen thing again, because it seemed tough from what he was talking about in the featurette.
It's probably time because you're pretty much filming the movie twice.
Yeah. Well, so we gave our ratings, but what was there's no box office because it came straight on to what?
Oh,
Do you have a box office?
Oh,
what theaters did this come out in?
I have no idea. But somehow Wikipedia has box office gross, which means there's box office gross somewhere. With a budget of $20 million, got a box office gross of $36,194.
Interesting. Maybe it was played for some drive-ins. I don't know. That's weird.
That could be the case. That could be the case.
Huh. Maybe it only played in like LA and New York.
Maybe. My thing is, I wonder how that would affect things, because I don't really know. Like with streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Crackle, Shutter, all that stuff. I figure it's based off of view count through clicks through kind of like how YouTube does it, how they count how many watch for this amount of watch time or whatever. I guess that would count more than budget because you're paying a subscription price.
Right.
So I wonder how that's gonna play with like the watch through time on HBO Max and all that. Like how that's gonna work out for us. So like how does that go into whether or not we get an American Pickle 2 or whatever. American Pickle 2, Pickle Boogaloo, like pickles come to you. Like that's gonna be the
pickles come to you. I like that. I don't know. I mean, this movie wasn't made for HBO Max. It sold during the pandemic. Like HBO Max bought it during the pandemic. So I don't know. That's right. Interesting.
They've been advertising this like it's like it was like HBO Max came up with the idea, not Trout. Like,
yeah. No, this is yeah. I mean, this is their first exclusive movie that they put out. I think HBO Max.
They got two others on here, On the Record and On the Trail, which I think a documentary film.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is their first like fictional joint. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that's it. We're done. See you later. No, I'm kidding. Trae, where can people find you?
Hey, you can find me wherever Production 1200 stuff is. This is where this podcast is. You can find me there. Where on the iTunes where this podcast is found, you can find me there. On the YouTube where this podcast is found, you can find me there. You can find me on Letterboxd, King Price for Life. You can find me on Instagram. Don't find me on Instagram. I don't be putting up no pictures. But you can find Production 1200 there. That's it. Production 1200. Go there.
And you can find me on Letterboxd at Cut to Black. I'm gonna change that name soon.
To match all of your other stuff.
To match all my other stuff. Yeah. So thank you, Trae, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Son of the Price clan. You are strong.
Huh. I wonder how this movie would have been different if the people were black. Anyway, let's make that movie. Thank you, Trae, once again, and thank you for listening. Make sure that you come back next Wednesday specifically, for another episode of the Movie Club podcast. Bye bye.
In old country, we have saying. I'm sure this has aged well. If man does not throw a punch, it is because this man secretly had polio arm. Do something, then. Throw your punch! You know they cured polio, right?
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Make sure that you check out the other shows that we have on the Facebook, the other main podcast that comes out every other Tuesday. Make sure you leave a like, share it with your friends and your family. Go check out our YouTube where we have content from other Production 1200 works. And make sure you follow us on the Instagram. We post sometimes there. We'll do more. We'll try. Maybe. Like us on iTunes podcast, rate and review. Give us them 5 stars. And we'll see you next time.
For the trailer.
Oh God,
and the YouTube
that
ads.
I swear, bro. Like that is. I don't know when that started. That little 3 second, that little 30, like not even 30 seconds, like the 5 seconds of trailer before the actual trailer. Like I can't even remember when I just started seeing that, but I just started noticing that. Like, why am I seeing a trailer before a trailer? What kind of Inception shit is this?
Yeah. They're like, oh, maybe if we show a little bit of the trailer, they'll stick around for the ad. What? But then they do it in theaters too, and I'm like, come on, you guys are gonna have to have a different cut of the trailer, not the YouTube cut.
But there are though. Like, have you seen? Like, I don't know. I gotta put you back over here, so I'm looking at you. It don't look weird, but yeah, they are, but they're doing that though. Have you seen like with the Hobbs and Shaw? They had like 2 different cuts. They had like a YouTube, like, and it was like the full thing, but like the theater cut was just like there's just a few scenes cut out of it, and then like added 1 extra or something like that. It's very weird how they're doing advertisements now. Some
of them they are doing separate cuts, and some of them they aren't. Like they're doing that trailer. They'll play like the YouTube trailer in theaters. I've seen that at least like once, and I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm already here. I'm already forced to watch the trailer. Stop it. They're like, hey, we got to sell them on the trailer before they're forced to watch the trailer in theaters.
You don't have a trailer blindfolds when you go into the theater. Just like, no, I don't believe so. Not today, motherfucker.
I'm also mad that I haven't been getting like any trailer ads on YouTube, like at all.
Oh yeah,
probably because no one's marketing their shit because nothing's coming out.
Fair, very fair. All right, but let's get into the actual podcast.
All right,
because Shakis
are you already recording?
Yes, I am.
Oh fuck! Come on, I didn't know. Oh god, sorry, Shakis. I did it again. See, Shakis, I try. When I start recording, I'm like, okay. I'm like, fuck it. I'll stop the recording and go back. But like, I didn't know. Sorry, Shakis.